What's up, guys? It's episode 384. Welcome back to the show.
I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hey, what's up? It's Jacqueline. Welcome back to the show. How's it going? Happy October 24th. Happy Thursday, October 24th. We are currently 12 days away from the election. And I actually want to start out with a story time related to Donald Trump and I. No, not like that. And a story. This is like a story time. I like these intro story times I've been doing recently. I think I did it last week for the first time. So this is the second one, but I do have a story related to Trump and how Corey and I met. So back in 2022, this was May of 2022, Corey responded to my Hinge prompt that I still stand by. And that Hinge prompt I put on my profile was Donald Trump is so, with like 14 O's, sexy, period. And that is what I gave as my little like personality like piece on my Hinge profile. And Corey responded to it. And we dabbed it up when we met about Trump. And yeah, I still stand by that. He has aged quite a bit since then. Well, it's only been 2 years. He's looking great. He's looking spry. He's looking good. I think he just officially passed Kamala in the polls or whatever. Like, guys, we're not going to talk about, by the way, we're not going to talk about politics today. That's all I want to say. That was my Hinge prompt that got my now husband to, or that made him want to like respond and like hit me up and go on a date with me. Donald Trump is so sexy. And yeah. So yeah, we're not going to talk about the election. We have a lot of topics today. I will say that this is a topic heavy episode and I do have a great show for you, but I do not want to forget this before I start. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please hit that subscribe button and review the show 5 stars while you're there. Drinking a cappuccino today. It's like lukewarm, actually. It's not hot anymore. So yeah, review the show 5 stars while you're there and follow me on TikTok. My TikTok is kind of my new home right now. Never thought that day would come, but I'm a TikToker. Follow me at Jacqueline Monroe on TikTok, Instagram at Jacqueline Monroe, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Jacqueline Monroe Show. This is a video and an audio podcast, so you can watch this on YouTube and sit back and hang with me once a week. So yeah, let's get into the topics. Let's get into the things, all the things. I'm going to set the scene. Give you a little idea of what I have been up to recently. And then without further ado, God, I feel corny right now. Like, I'm like, this is so showy. Like the intro music, the audience, like what the I mean, it is a show. It is a show. Without further ado, these are the stories of the day. These are the topics of choice that I came up with because, and to be honest, this is going to be, I'm going to call this, and I've called many episodes in the past this before. This is going to be kind of a comfy episode. Okay. This is going to be what am I curious about? What am I interested in? What do I want to talk about? Like, it's kind of light and fluffy. And on that note, starting out with the first topic, Liam Payne's toxicology report and the update on Liam Payne's death over there in Argentina. So we're going to start off pretty light with that one. And then after that, on a heavier note, we're going to talk about the Goldfish cracker rebrand. Okay. The Goldfish is having a rebrand. We're going to talk about it. And also in food news, McDonald's has an E. coli outbreak following Donald Trump's appearance as a line cook at McDonald's. And then we're going to do a quiz about McDonald's, again, with keeping it light. Like, you guys, if you're an OG, you know that I used to love my quizzes. I used to love my stupid BuzzFeed quizzes. And some episodes, I would just do BuzzFeed quizzes the entire time. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a McDonald's quiz because I feel like it. And again, it's comfy. It's chill. It's fall. I'm wearing a turtleneck. Okay. I'm wearing a suede. No, what is this? This is a fleece turtleneck. I'm on a fleece checkered blanket. Sitting next to a pumpkin. I'm drinking, this is not pumpkin spice. This is a salted caramel cappuccino. And then finally, I'm going to talk about something very important and something that I really forget about like every time it comes around. Or I always find myself going like, what the fuck is this? How does it work? We're going to deep dive into the Electoral College. Okay. It is important that we all know what the Electoral College is and why it's important and how it works. Because I feel like in typical me fashion, it's like, oh, the elections this year and they're doing their campaigning and they're, at these conventions and there's commercials on TV. And then it's like, okay, don't forget to vote. It's in 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like Electoral College talk and swing state talk. And it gets, and then I'm just like, okay, yeah, like I hear this every 4 years, but like, well, how does it really work? Like that's what we're going to talk about. So those are the main, those are the heavy hitters as far as the subjects go. Okay. And we're going to start with, Trump is apparently going on Rogan today. So that's going to be sweet. It's a long time coming and I'm really excited to see where they record at because Rogan's only ever filmed in his studio. So like if he goes to some random convention center and sits down with Trump, like I wouldn't be surprised, but convention center, like, I don't know, airport, like back room somewhere because he's traveling a lot right now. I don't know, but that'll be really crazy to see. I wonder how long it's going to be, and what they're going to talk about. Obviously all the stuff he's been doing the rounds on the podcast and it's probably going to be the same shit. But I just think with it being Rogan, it's like people have been asking for this for years. So that's going to be fun to watch. So I'll set the scene. What have I been up to? It's been a week, you guys. I'm here every week. And what have I done in the last week? It's pretty much same shit, different week, to be honest. So it's a lot of Netflix. It's a lot of basketball watching, baseball watching, football watching, crime documentary watching, like cooking, fall cooking, like all the things, right? I'm just like in my comfy in my comfy phase. Yeah. Are you guys, I feel that, is this, okay, let's spice it up. This is a little flat. Okay. All right. So stay with me. Okay. We don't edit this. We just do it in one take and then we say that I just tell the Spotify thing to just send it off, do it, post it. All right. So speaking of sports, okay, we have been watching the Netflix Starting Five basketball documentary, and I am obsessed with these Netflix sports docs. They are so well done. They're so entertaining. I want them to they need to be like, and they're pretty on it. Like every sport and every sport seems to have one at the beginning of every season. So with NBA basketball just starting this week, I think opening night was last night or the night before. It's like perfect timing, right? So they followed Tatum, Celtics. They followed him around. Anthony Edwards. Who else? I'm like drawing a blank right now. LeBron. They highlighted a lot of, there's five. I think they highlighted, it was called Starting Five, and it was really well done and really interesting because I love seeing behind the scenes of athletes' lives and like what they're up to every day and how they spend their time off the court, off the field. It's it's entertaining because you don't really get to see that side of them in that much depth. And I really loved, my favorite, I think so far was receiver. And I think that's why I fell in love with the 49ers as a Seahawks fan. I was like, oh, I love these. I love these wives and I love these players and I love this team and I love Debo and I love Kittle and I like obsessed. Like I'm a closeted 49ers fan as a out of the closet Seahawks fan. Speaking of the Seahawks, we are leading the NFC West. We are 4-3. We are above. NFC West has the 49ers in it, and we are doing better than them. So, that's really where my heart's at. We just beat the Falcons, and it was a pretty decent win. It was 34-14. But I love my Seahawks, but I also kind of love the 49ers. And the longer I'm in California, I said this last week. I'll say this. I've been saying this for like a year now, since last football season. The longer I live in California, the more I'm gonna probably become a official 49ers fan. And I have an update. Last week I talked about Kibbe, right? Go back to last week's episode. I deep dove into the Kibbe body type, archetype fashion system that rolled out in the 80s by David Kibbe. I went into extreme depth. Like we spent probably an hour and a half on that last week. And I told you that I was going to take the test to see what category I fall under. And I was guessing last week that I was called and this won't make sense unless you listen to last week's episode. So make sure you go listen to it if you're curious about, what archetype you might fall under and what Kibbe even is. Cause like the word Kibbe is like, what does that mean? Right. But I guessed that I was a soft dramatic. I'm dramatic. It's, again, go listen to last week's episode. It's the style type or like the archetype, soft dramatic. And I took the test and I can confirm that, yes, I am a soft dramatic and I do have a problem with this. So the only downside of being a soft dramatic is that a lot of the outfit recommendations are kind of matronly and kind of like, I feel like it's giving like middle-aged energy, like it looks great on the style type recommendations or the style recommendations for soft dramatics. I feel like looks amazing on middle-aged women, but like if I wear some of these things, it's like I feel matronly and I don't know. So I'm trying to like find the balance between like wearing the right necklines and the right pants and the skirts and all the things without it looking that way, because it's kind of, it covers you up a lot, and which I'm all about. Like I mean, like it doesn't need to be, I don't need to look like a teeny bopper all the time. So I do like the soft dramatic recommendations, but I think it's a lot of layering and like draping over your body. And I feel like you can kind of it takes away a little bit without highlighting your best assets, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm soft dramatic. It's cool. I'm really enjoying getting dressed every day. I talked about that last week. It basically like completely squashed my body dysmorphia, this discovery of Kibbe, because it meets you where you're at, whatever body you have. Like it tells you like, okay, based on your bone structure and your like roundness or your sharpness or your height, your shoulder width, your hip width, your hand size, your foot size, your literal like closeness of your eyes, your eyebrow angle, like it tells you based on all of these things. And again, you can take a Kibbe body type test. It tells you like what to wear where you will always look amazing. So it's a no-brainer. I think everyone should take the test and figure that out. It makes getting dressed so much easier and so much fun. So hi, I'm a soft dramatic, and that's the latest update on that. What else is going on? So, I've been back in the weight room post-wedding, back on my bullshit, lifting heavy again, which I have a love-hate with, right? Like I was doing all the Pilates and yoga before the wedding and doing all the long lean stuff. And I was kind of like, oh wow, like this, I feel like it's Pilates and yoga. Like it's like, it's the best for a woman's body, in my opinion. And obviously weightlifting is also amazing for a woman's body, but I don't know how to lift weights without going as heavy as possible. Like it's like, and for me, it's like, there's no point if I'm lifting a weight and it's like light or whatever. It's like, I I don't get a good workout. So now I'm like, okay, I'm building my strength back up and I'm pushing myself because I haven't done it in like 5 months, probably. I haven't gone that hard. And it feels really great, but I'm like, damn, am I going to regret this? You guys, it's so dumb and superficial, right? Like, it's like your body's fine. Like, who cares? Like, fuck it, do what makes you feel good. And lifting really does. It does make me feel good. But I'm noticing, I'm like, this could go, because sometimes lifting bulks you up. Okay. If you're a woman and you think that, oh, lifting doesn't make you bulky. Yes, it does. Okay. And in my experience with like what I've witnessed in the gym and my own personal experience, it just makes you, especially if you're doing a lot of compound lifts and like super heavy lifts, you have to be careful about your middle section, because I feel like, okay, yeah, like you can look bulky as far as like back and shoulders if you're really going heavy on that. I don't think you can ever be too bulky on the bottom half. But if you're doing a lot of heavy compound lifts, I've had it where I've gone too far with it without wearing like a waist trainer or a weight belt, where your abs, like your midsection area starts getting wide and puffy. It like puffs up because you're like contracting those muscles all the time. I don't know. Like there's something about lifting that does that to women. So that's my only tip. Like be careful with that when you're lifting heavy. Like obviously diet's a thing too. Like that'll keep you leaner in that area by a lot. Like that's most of it. But yeah, I've found that wearing a waist trainer or a weight belt when I'm going really heavy is the solve. Like it helps so much, and it just keeps you snatched in. And then also something that I've also learned how to do is I'm a vacuumer. I'm a stomach vacuumer. This like, is this, now we're doing health and wellness right now? Like, sorry, not sorry. This is my show. This is the comfy episode. We're just hanging, whatever. But I learned how to vacuum my stomach, where you suck it into you literally suck your belly button as far back to your spine as possible. And you like hold your breath. And what it's taught me is when I lift now, I'm like, well, it's given me that mind to muscle connection with my core that I feel like I never had. And that's probably why I was getting all like puffed out in that area. Cause it was just, I was lifting and I wasn't bracing properly. So now that I've learned that, I'm finding myself like I don't even need I use a waist trainer sometimes and a weight belt, but I can just like really like snatch my waist while I'm lifting. And I feel like that helps a lot. So tip of the day, just be conscientious of your core when you're lifting, because it's also good for, you don't want to throw your back out too. So that definitely helps with that. But I do see a lot of women that are like, lifting doesn't make you bulky. And then it's like, you look, sorry, this is judgmental, but like you look bulky, like you're, it's, yeah. So hi, I'm being rude. I don't know why. I'm not trying to be rude, but, and I think the best combo for me is heavy lifting, like 3 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week. I used to do like 5 or 6. Like I was always, that's probably what it was. I was lifting super heavy for every single workout during the week, where now I think the best combo for me is like 2 to 3 days heavy. The other days are a combination of cardio, Pilates, and yoga. So, and I'm not a big, like, everyone's like, get your steps in. Like, yeah, I get like probably, I have an Apple Watch. I probably average like 8,000 a day, which I don't know if I've heard they've done research that between 7 and 10, I feel like more is more with walking. Don't get me wrong, but the difference between like 7,000 and 10,000 really isn't that crazy. And I don't know, I just try to keep it above 7. I think that's realistic for me. Cause I like to sit on my ass a lot and scroll on social media and waste my life. Okay. I don't even know what that comment was. Like I've been, we are a life update before I get into the stories. Like Corey and I are like officially bookworms. Like we're being so on it with our reading, and it feels really good. And we're also doing the whole like red light instead of normal lamp lights at night. So we're like our light bulbs change colors and we set it to red while we read. And I love it because I'm actually like, I finally had a coming to Jesus moment where I'm like, look, I'm working on my computer all day. I'm on my phone throughout the day doing work stuff on my phone. And then at the end of the day, we're like watching TV. I'm like passively scrolling on my phone, looking at all my apps, which is so fun. Like I love my routine with like Reddit, you know, TikTok, Instagram, Amazon, what's the weather tomorrow? Like I'm bopping around, and I just like that final like moment of the day where I'm like covering all my social media bases and really doing my last browse. But I had a coming to Jesus moment where I'm like, I don't need to do this in bed. Like it doesn't fulfill me anymore to like sit in bed and keep doing that. And this is like such a broken record, but like I'm actually like doing the no phones thing now with Corey, and we're reading books. And I'm reading, if you want to know, I'm reading The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, and I'm obsessed. Like I love Robert Greene. I'm just like everything he puts out. I've read Mastery. I've read The 50th Law. I've read 48 Laws of Power multiple times. Art of Seduction. Now I'm doing the Human Nature one. I just love his writing. I love his books. Can't recommend Robert Greene enough. So there's a lot of psychology stuff in there that's helping me right now. And it's really like, I'm having all of these like aha moments reading it. So yeah, it's been great. And I find myself like craving the book. Like that's when you know it's a good book, when you're like excited to go read it. So I'm reading that, and Corey's reading, I'm going to read it after him. He's reading an AI book, something about, I don't know. It's like one of the most popular AI books right now. AI is coming, probably is the name of it. AI is coming, bitch. Get ready. So, and it's really interesting. He was telling me about how in the legal system, what am I saying? Lawyers there's a lot of work that lawyers do that's getting replaced by AI, which is crazy. Cause I was like, well, what does that entail? And I think Corey's telling me it's like the discovery stuff is getting replaced by AI. There's like a lot of things that it's doing now instead of actual people. So, yeah, so that's what he's reading. Cool. All right, let's get into Liam Payne's toxicology report. If you didn't know, and this is like, I talked about it last week. Liam Payne is no longer with us. And for me, I mean, not that they're even similar in any way, because it's like Kobe obviously is more of a legend and all that. But the feeling I have when I see like, because I'm on TikTok getting Liam Payne videos 24/7 now, because I'm just like, every time I watch them, every time I see them, I just watch them because it's like I was a One Directioner. What do they call us? I was a fangirl, right? Like I was a closeted fangirl. I talked about that last week. But when I see these videos, it's so weird. It's so weird. It doesn't feel real. My brain is like sitting there while I'm watching these videos, trying to convince me that he's still here. And, yeah, it's just so and I think it's because, and I've been, I'm aware that I was in deep. I feel like if you were a One Direction like fangirl, you were in pretty fucking deep. You're on Twitter 24/7, like keeping up with their latest tweets and where they're at. And you followed all these accounts that would stalk the boys and post tons of videos and behind the scenes footage of them and every single interview. And you watch literally every piece of content that came out on them. And I think because of that, your brain, I think it's called a parasocial relationship. That's what everyone says. Like when you, I guess, like watch a person online, like you might feel like you have a parasocial relationship with me because you listen to my podcast every week. Like you feel like you know everything about me, you know me, which is wild. Side note, I'll put a pin in that real quick. I had someone, it was a week ago, point out that they listen to my podcast. They're like, oh yeah, I like sit and watch I've been watching your podcast. I've been listening to it. And whenever someone says that, I'm like, oh, they know everything. Or like, it's such a, like, it's always like super cool to like hear that. But sometimes I'm like, if I mention I have a podcast to people, which everyone asks me, right? Like, what do you do? And I say, oh, I have a podcast. I always wonder like who's listening with, and then like when I see them next time, they know everything about me because they listen, but they're not like telling me they listen to my show, if that makes sense. They're not like, oh, by the way, because they were just curious, you know? I don't know what I'm saying. It just feels like sometimes I wonder, like, do people like know shit about me and they don't say they listen? Because I don't know if that would be weird for them. Why would it be weird for them? They just don't. I don't know. So that's what I do here. I put myself out there and people listen, and it is what it is. But anyways, back to the parasocial relationship thing with One Direction and following people online closely like that. I think, yeah, for me to watch those videos, it's like it was bringing me back to when I was obsessively watching the One Direction guys, and you know, seeing Liam like daily, right? And then I'm seeing the videos now and it's like he's gone, but I don't know. It's just a weird mental thing to go through, and obviously so sad and so devastating. And his girlfriend just posted a thing on her Instagram about it and about his passing. And but anyways, here's the toxicology report. And like the cause of death, which we all know, like if you don't know at this point, he fell 3 stories off of his hotel balcony in Buenos Aires. It's been like a week now. So the Argentina National Prosecutor's Office shared details from Liam Payne's autopsy. Per the autopsy, Payne died of polytrauma and internal and external bleeding. The prosecutor's office called the death doubtful and undetermined, meaning there was no conclusive information about the cause of death. So we don't know if he jumped. We don't know if he fell. Like, I don't think that information is, I don't know if I think the only way to know is, I guess they can like do stuff with the trajectory. Like they can gauge the trajectory of the body and if it was a jump versus if it was a fall. I've heard that before with stuff like this. But also if there's obviously footage of this, I don't think they're sharing that obviously right now, or that's probably not, no one's ever going to see that. But, you know, that's going to obviously tell them what they need to know about the cause of death and if it was a fall or if it was suicide, which is. So preliminary toxicology results reportedly found that Payne had several substances in his system at the time of his passing, including pink cocaine, which is a cocktail of drugs including meth, ketamine, MDMA, and more, as well as cocaine, crack, and benzodiazepine. And benzos are depressants that can produce sedation and hypnosis. So that was like the, I mean, that was a lot. And yeah, so we're just going to move on. We're going to talk about Goldfish now. Okay. I did just take a breather, and I want to say something about content creation and making videos at home and podcasting and just content creation in general, right? Like, it is so chaotic with the cords and the lights and the things you got to set out and set up and take down. And it's like, if you're kind of OCD with the cleaning like I am, okay, there's a learning curve to this. And I feel like I'm at the phase of acceptance. Like I've officially, I mean, this is my 384th podcast, right? Like I've done this so much where like I just embrace that it's going to be crazy and messy and full of cords all the time and like SD cards and stuff, right? And in my bathroom, it's like whenever I make a TikTok video, there's just like shit everywhere. And yeah, like I'm looking around and it's uncomfy. The cords are uncomfy, but you just gotta like trick your brain into like not paying attention to it and just doing your thing, just doing your content, making your stuff. And it's part of the job, right? Like it's just part of the job. But the thing I don't love is the aftercare of it all, or the aftermath, or the post content creation tidy up, clean up, where you look around and it's like a bomb went off and you're like, oh my God, I gotta like now I gotta like edit the video or edit the podcast or whatever. And then I gotta go like put all the cords away and wrap things up and put away my ring lights and put away my shit. And it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes it gives me a headache, and today I was looking around. I'm like, it's time. Like I need to get this. Like my goal with my show right now, I have a lot of goals. Obviously I'm always trying to like better myself here and make a better show for you. But my goal right now, and I don't know why I haven't done this yet, but like it is what it is, right? We're still, trying to figure out just how to do everything efficiently, right? Like that's my word. I love being efficient with my time and my energy. And my goal is to get it to where I have it all set up and everything's like tucked away and pretty, and I just like press record. And there's no like setup takedown bullshit, So anyways, let's talk about Goldfish. So fuck it. I'll just how important is this topic? Not at all, but like I think it's kind of funny, so we're going to talk about it. Goldfish changed its name to be more adult sounding. Here's why and how you can buy the new pack of Goldfish. So Goldfish is rebranding to Chilean sea bass to remind Gen Z and millennial customers that the nostalgic snack is intended for all generations. It literally says Chilean sea bass on the same packaging. Like my brain is seeing this and it's like, for what, right? Like what's the, like, they didn't need, this is so like unnecessary, but okay. Goldfish is getting a grown-up name to reflect its grown-up customers. The beloved fish shaped snacks will be renamed Chilean sea bass for a limited time. The Chilean sea bass packs, which are available exclusively online. Okay, so you're not going to be seeing this in like fucking Target when you're walking around, which is like, okay. They include the exact same crackers as regular Goldfish. The only difference is the more adult fish brand or fish-based name per press release. Oh my God. I'm already annoyed that I'm reading this and I want to move to the next topic about McDonald's. But the brand points to its other limited releases like Old Bay Goldfish and Frank's Red Hot Goldfish. I didn't know they came out with those. These like food things they do, like these like packaged crackers and cookie food combos, like chips, like they'll do like fucking cupcake flavored chips and shit. This is what's wrong with America. Like it's so, to me, it's like so unnecessary and stupid. And I'm like, people are being paid to, like, this is, just don't make Goldfish. You know what I mean? Like, just stop with I'm sure there's yellow dye and like crazy shit in the ingredients, but I'm just sick of big food. I'm sick of these corporations poisoning, the citizens of this country with bullshit. And, do I dabble in Goldfish? Pretty much never. So why did I read this? I don't know. This is like who is this for is the question. They're claiming it's for millennials and Gen Zers that used to eat Goldfish as a kid, as if they want to go online and order Chilean sea bass Goldfish. Like, not only did I just waste a portion of my life reading this article, this writer, Sabrina Weiss from people.com. She wasted, it's such a nothing story. Like, it's so dumb. This is, now I'm spiraling about like, it just bullshit information that we come across online. And then I was enticed to read it. Yes. Because I was like, oh, that's funny. It's Chilean sea bass Goldfish. But like, after I read it, I'm like, Who gives a fuck? Let's talk about McDonald's. Okay. So this is more important. McDonald's quarter pounders are linked to an E. coli outbreak after 1 dead and 10 hospitalized. So a McDonald's executive said the outbreak may be linked to slivered onions used in the quarter pounder. I don't think I've ever had a quarter pounder. We're going to talk about my McDonald's order after this, by the way. And we're going to do a quiz. Remember that little note I told you in the beginning there? We're going to do a quiz. We're going to talk about my McDonald's order. It's very important that you know it. I think your McDonald's order says a lot about you, and I stand by that. Like, yeah. So McDonald's is pulling ingredients from its quarter pounder in some states after an E. coli outbreak was traced back to the popular burger. Blah, blah, blah. The first of the 49 known cases were recorded. Just don't, like, okay. Who is eating hamburgers at McDonald's? First of all, like hamburgers. Like, I understand rolling up and getting a spicy McChicken here and there, or some nuggies and some fries, or what's my McDonald's order? I'm usually there for a midday Diet Coke or an iced coffee in the morning. What else am I there for? The breakfast foods. Okay, I understand ordering McDonald's breakfast. I do not understand eating McDonald's burger. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't. There's so many better options out there for burgers. Okay, I live in California. I'm going to In-N-Out, right? Like, I'm going to Wendy's. If I'm doing a burger, I'm going to Wendy's. I will do a Whopper here and there. This is like desperation. I'm on a road trip and I'm saying, fuck Subway. I'm not eating that trash. I want a burger. Actually, do I like Subway sometimes on a road trip? Road trips are just, you just get kind of you get desperate. You're hungry. You have no options other than these fast food joints or gas station trash. And I usually get a combination of both. It's usually like a gas station protein bar, maybe some like chips, maybe some Sun chips or something, the garden salsa specifically. And then, you know, when you're really hungry, then that's when you're doing the McDonald's run. That's when you're going to Burger King. That's when you're doing Taco Bell, if they have it. You know, that's when I'll dabble in the fast food, but it's very rare. And anyways, so yeah, we've got an E. coli outbreak coming out from McDonald's. Slivered onions, apparently. Another bullshit story. You guys, I don't even know what this episode is. To be honest, was I prepared today? Yeah, I was. But like I came with the stories. Did I come with the heart and the soul and the passion for the show like I normally do? I don't know. I'm looking around at a lot of chords, a lot of housework. I'm not going to do it. So I'm on a new journey as a new wife and as a new homeowner and as a full-time podcast host and social media extraordinaire. I am on a new journey to tell my house to fuck off. And I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I've been getting out of the house to work now. So I leave the house every morning. So I have decided like I cannot be in this home for me to be efficient and get work done. Like I can't, my brain is not disciplined enough to just like tune out the housework, tune out the things that need to be done around the house, like tune out the dogs, tune out the errands. Like I'm bad at it. I'm not good at it. And I've been getting out of the house. I've been telling my house to fuck off. But I record in my house, right? I record in my studio office here. And I'm feeling this like, this pull, like I'm looking at this couch and I'm like, ugh, those covers, like they need to be washed. And then I'm also thinking like, why did I buy a white couch with 2 dirty dogs? You know, like now I'm thinking I got to go online and look for a new leather couch because we want to go leather instead of fabric because of the fucking dogs. And then I'm like, that'll be a whole perusing thing on my phone for like an hour and a half if I go down that rabbit hole. So like, this is what goes through my mind when I'm at home, and it's not healthy. It's not good for me. And yesterday, by the way, I was in the middle of my day working. I work at like coffee shops, restaurants, co-work spaces, like close by, right? It's amazing. I feel so efficient, so productive. I'm like finally like feeling like on top of my shit with this show and what I'm doing with my social media. And I had a moment and I was like, we have no food in the fridge. We have no food in the fridge, like zero. We have no protein options. We have no veggies. We have nothing, like nothing to cook for dinner. So I'm like, I found myself, this was at like 1 p.m. I worked all morning, had lunch there. And then I'm like, okay, it's 1. I'm like, we have no groceries. And then I look down at my nails and they're due. Like I'm so past due for a manicure. And then I was like, I should just like go get my nails done and then go to the grocery store. Right. And I started walking away from my workspace. Like I packed up and I'm like, gonna go do this. This is like not good. And I called Corey. He like, we're, just checking in about her day. And I was like, honey, he's like, no, like, he's like, stop, like, do not, like, we will have dinner. We can eat dinner somewhere else. Like, we don't have to have food in the house right now. Like, get your ass back to work. And so I had this moment, and like, this is a big deal for me. Like, I don't know, like, I know that nothing about me is like, yes, you are you and no one else is you. And that is your power. But I don't like, this is not a unique experience. I know that, like, we are all the same at the end of the day. And I know there's people out there that struggle with this, that work for themselves. They run a home. They, you know what I mean? Like they have the flexibility of their work schedule and their, other schedules, and they can kind of blend it all together however they want. But yeah, it was a big deal for me that I went back to editing and working on my stuff, and then I felt better about myself after it, right? Like I felt so accomplished yesterday because I pushed myself and I worked all day and I wasn't like distracted by dumb errands and things that don't need to really get done until the weekend. And I feel like for some people that's so obvious. It's such a no-brainer. They have no issues like staying focused like that and just like powering through and getting their work done and prioritizing things appropriately. But I do struggle with it. I do. And again, I don't think that's unique. I think a lot of people that have flexibility like that and a lot of like time freedom, you can get suckered into your bad habits and your old ways of being. And then I'm all about, again, efficiency and time and blah, blah, blah. And I'm really trying to do better at that. So it's just a matter of getting the fuck out, telling the home to fuck off, not caring about anything but your work during your work day and taking care of all of the other things later. Like it can wait. It's fine. But I do love it. I do love grocery shopping. I love picking out my foods for the week and thinking about the meal prepping and what I'm going to cook. And I love organizing my fridge. I love all that shit, right? We've talked about this, but it's not good for me. It's not good for what I'm trying to do here. So, all right, moving on. We're going to do the quiz. And you guys, this is kind of I haven't had one of these episodes in a minute, to be honest, but it kind of is what it is. I don't want to contribute to the bullshit of the internet, and I don't want to put bullshit in your mind. And I kind of feel like that's what I'm doing today with the fucking Goldfish crackers and the McDonald's. And now we're doing a fucking McDonald's quiz. We're going to talk about my order. Like, I don't really feel good about it. Are you entertained? That's all that matters. If you're still here, you must be. But my McDonald's order, I just kind of told you, like, I'm a spicy McChicken. I'm a French fry spicy McChicken. I'm a chicken nuggets with sweet and sour sauce. I like a lot of ketchup on my fries. I'm always doing a Diet Coke if I'm there. Here and there I'll do the McFlurry if there isn't a Dairy Queen available close by. If I'm like really like I need something sweet or whatever, like I literally haven't done this in a long, like, you know what? I do like, speaking of who the fuck eats hamburgers at McDonald's, hamburgers. I think it's the number 4, I do enjoy the cheeseburgers. The little cheeseburgers with the little pickle and the little diced onions and like just the combination and the little, it's just so tiny, and they give you 2 of them, and I eat both because they're so tiny and cute. I do like the 2 cheeseburger meal. So with fries, always fries. Are we doing this right now? Fuck it. This quiz is from BuzzFeed. Okay. I'm just gonna hold on. Your McDonald's order actually reveals a deep truth about you. Thanks, BuzzFeed. Can't wait. Pick something from the breakfast menu. Okay. Egg McMuffin, classic, can't go wrong. Bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, haven't had it. I did see they rolled out bagels at McDonald's. Sausage and egg biscuit, fruit and yogurt parfait, pancakes, or the McGriddle. Okay. Nothing makes me feel more like shit about myself than a McGriddle. Like the one with like the cheese on it and everything on it. Like that is it's so good because the pancakes are the bun and it has syrup in it. Syrup. Actually, the last time I got a McGriddle was on a road trip to Yosemite. I just remembered. And it was great. To be honest, I love the hash browns. I forgot about that. I will get a hash brown and a coffee and I'll be good. But out of this list, I'm going egg McMuffin. You know, classic. Can't go wrong. Okay, so I selected it. Now we're moving to the next question. This is our little intermission. Okay, I don't know. Pick a sandwich. Big Mac, never had it. Do not understand the middle bun. Never have. That always confused me as a kid. I'm like, why is there bread in the middle? Fish fillet, hamburger, McChicken, cheeseburger, quarter pounder with cheese. You already know I'm going McChicken. But goddamn, the fish fillet. Do you guys remember the last election? Was it what year was this? I think it was Biden Trump 2020. What year was that? Trump or Rogan had Alex Jones and fucking, was it Tim Dillon on? Oh my God. Tim Dillon's new 90s talk show special thing on Netflix is so good. If you haven't watched it, it is so fucking good. I think it's called This Is Your Country. Yeah. This Is Your Country. Obsessed. Like it was so, I loved the idea and like how they produced it or whatever. Like it was so hilarious and it was so like perfect. If you listen to the Tim Dillon show, like, cause I feel like, especially with comedians on their shows, like watching their stand-up doesn't do it for me as much. Cause I'm used to their banter on their podcasts. And so, yeah, like some of them are great comedians and obviously like all of them, they're amazing comedians. But I liked that he didn't do a typical like stand-up comedy special. Like he did a talk show thing and he hit like all the bases and it was great. So I really like that. But anyways, I remember I'm saying this because I'm pretty sure on that episode where he had Alex Jones and Tim Dillon on the election night episode, they ordered McDonald's. And I remember Rogan being like obsessed with fish fillets. And I always think about that when I see the fish fillet on the menu. Like, and then he had like this. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just like visualizing his joy about that goddamn fish fillet. And I used to get those delivered every Friday during Lent at my Catholic school. My mom would come in. So you're not supposed to eat meat on Friday, but you can have fish. So I remember it was like our little Friday treat. Not every Friday during Lent. Lent's long. It's 40 days, but it's really only, it felt long. When you're a kid, Lent seems like it's forever. It's really only like a month that you have to give something up in like a few days, you know? But we used to get those delivered. My mom would come into the classroom with a bag of McDonald's. We'd have a fish fillet and it's very nostalgic. I'm going McChicken. Okay. And something that pisses me off is when people order a McChicken and say no mayo. Can't relate. Don't understand you. It is so dry without that. Like, how do you enjoy anything without, how do you enjoy any sandwich, anything without mayo? I love mayo has a bad rap, and I like my sauces. I like my moisture. This episode is so fucking stupid. I want to end it right now. Episode 384. On the road to 400. Got to get it out. You know what I mean? I wonder what I'll do for that episode. It's going to be crazy. I always say that, and then it's always the same shit. I'm like, hey, I went to the gym today and I took the dogs to the park and blah, blah, blah. It's like, God. Okay. Pick something from the dessert menu. Okay. Oh my God. Do you guys want to hear about when I used to have really bad breakdowns late at night? When I used to like live alone and eat to feel better about myself, or not even feel like shit about myself. But this was when I was in the thick of it. Okay. I came across some information about McDonald's that you can order what's called a cookie tote. So if you go up to the register or the drive-thru and you say, hi, I want a cookie tote, it is a box with a handle of not 12, but 13 freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. Okay. When I had my breakdowns, I would go to McDonald's by myself and I would fucking order those. And I would sit, because you have to wait for those fuckers to bake. And I would sit in the parking lot and wait. They'd come bring it to me. And it was like the best. Like if you know, you know, like when you're in the thick of it and you're not eating and you're desperate and you're and you're like, you crack, because of course your body's starving. Like, that's what I used to do here and there. And it was dark. Okay. Those are dark times. I've talked about it. I have episodes about it, eating disorder related content that I've, thank God, overcome now. But that was a time. So I'm looking here at the menu. We got a vanilla cone, milkshake, apple pie. Apple pie? Like hand pie and apple pie. Ugh, I don't know. I'm going McFlurry. Okay. I like an Oreo McFlurry. Cool. How many McNuggets do you usually order at once? 40. I remember like in middle school, we would fucking order so many chicken McNuggets and we thought it was so funny. And we would get like the 20 packs. Okay. How many realistically do I order and eat? Okay, if I'm going to McDonald's and I'm getting nuggets, it's like a little appetizer. I'm getting 4. Okay. Oh, Corey's calling. Wonderful. Hi, honey, you're on the cast.
Oh, hi, just calling in. I just wanted to let you know I just heard something online about the Menendez brothers.
They're getting out?
The LA District Attorney just got a new letter a year before the killing stating that, Lyle said, I don't know what to do. I don't know if he's going to keep doing this to me. It's driving me crazy. They found another letter a year before the killing. And then another person came out and said that they were sexually assaulted. That had nothing to do with Eric and Lyle Menendez. So I think the district attorney might throw out the sentencing, which means they would be free.
Holy shit.
So, they would know within the next week.
So Lyle wrote a letter to who?
He wrote a letter to himself. It was like his diary, but they found it.
And it's legit?
And it's legit. Yeah. Hold on one sec.
No, you're on the cast. Don't go.
Hi, just playing golf. Yes. And
hi, just playing golf.
It. Isn't that crazy? Yes, I'm playing golf.
Are you in a tournament?
I am. It's for the Bacons.
Speaking of bacon, we're talking about McDonald's right now.
Oh, the E. coli?
Well, there's the E. coli. There's the Trump doing the McDonald's thing, working at McDonald's. But
yeah, I'm a go for it. Keep them open. Keep it going.
Yeah. My question for you is this, and I already know, but since you're on the cast, and we're doing a quiz right now about what your McDonald's order says about you.
But how crazy, before we get ADD on me, how about that Menendez thing, huh?
No, I think we're going to see him get out in our lifetime.
I think they're going to get out in the next couple weeks.
Shut up.
But then what? You've been in the prison for 30 years.
I know.
Now you're starting your life. Okay, congrats. Okay, where do you stay? I stay at my aunt's house. I live in the basement, and I can't even talk to anyone because I've been incarcerated for 30 plus years. What do you do? Does he work at McDonald's? Where do they
That
work?
would be an amazing, like,
Where do they work? What do they
character
do?
arc or whatever.
I know.
I bet they'll do stuff for people that are incarcerated. They'll like give back or whatever. I'm sure.
Yeah.
They usually do stuff like that, or I feel like that's what.
Live with family or something, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what's your McDonald's order? Like, you're going to McDonald's. What are you getting?
I'm getting the 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and a drink.
What's your drink?
Without a doubt. Diet Coke.
DC. My
Give me
man.
a large.
My man.
Large DC.
Now, I'm on a question right now, and I need your help with this. How many McNuggets would you order at once? 4, 10, 20, 40, or none?
20.
20 piece? Now,
For sure.
do you eat all of it?
Everything. I'm not even going to let you have one. It's all gone.
Only the last one.
Yeah, you can have the last one.
Because you always give me the last bite. That's how you keep a marriage together, everyone. Okay, I took that offline and finished the call with him. But can we talk about how Corey just saved this episode? Like, we're in the middle of talking about chicken nuggets. And he's like, did you know that the Menendez brothers potentially could be getting out of prison like soon? Like, he said 2 weeks, which I don't think is possible. But I did not know that piece of information. And I guess it's the 24th of October. So 10 days ago, so on the 14th, I'm looking at articles here. I'm going to play a video shortly. Should we finish the McDonald's thing? I mean, I'll just do it really fast and we'll get the results and then we'll move on. But I'm going to play the latest update on this letter that one of the brothers wrote to his cousin a year before the murders. And we're going to kind of get into this because I don't know if you're following the case or if you watch the documentary on Netflix. There's multiple documentaries, but I'm obviously I'm very interested in this because I just think it's such a wild story and such a wild case, and just the nature of them being these like rich brothers with an abusive dad and mom who was crazy, I guess. Like, it's just it's a interesting story, right? And I like I love the true crime docs. Like, I love them. And so yeah, McDonald's, oh my God, like, why are we doing this? Corey saved the episode. He's like, he got me back on the rails there for a second with something actually interesting. But okay, I'm ordering 4 chicken nuggets as an appetizer. We said that. I don't really need a full meal of chicken nuggets. I'm drinking a Diet Coke. Next is to pick a drink. Diet Coke for life. When's the best time to go to McDonald's? 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Always. I'm doing breakfast, right? I'm going 9 a.m. Do you share fries? Yes. Or touch my fries and you're dead? No, I share fries. I don't give a fuck. I'm happy to share. So this is what it says. So your McDonald's order actually reveals a deep truth about you. And these are my results. So you're always either trying really hard or not trying at all. Okay. There are times when you put 100% of yourself into your goals, but after a while you burn out and find it difficult to put any effort at all. And then you often undo the previous progress you made. You need to learn how to try a little and work a little hard without burning up so much of your energy and motivation. Stop trying to do and know everything at once. And remember that slow progress is still progress. Okay, bitch, you don't know me. Like, literally, that is my, like, I'm being all defensive about this fucking BuzzFeed article now, or this stupid quiz. But like, that's how I got started on this podcast. I literally posted no matter what for 300 days in a row. Like, I learned that lesson the hard way, where I used to wait till everything was perfect before I did it. And but I learned that it's fun to build and build and build, even if you put out a little thing towards your goal every day. Like, that is fulfilling versus thinking about a goal all the time, planning for your goal and getting everything right first and then doing it right. So like, McDonald's or BuzzFeed, bye. Like, do I have spurts though where why are we getting all deep about this? Let's fucking talk about the Menendez brothers. But I will say that I have spurts of creativity where I'm feeling really creative. I'm in the flow. I'm putting out a lot of content. I'm like really working hard. And then I have lulls. And I think that's pretty normal, especially with content creation. But I'm consistent. The word is consistency. Corey and I, that's like our number one word, rule, thing about our relationship and life, like consistency, because it's everything. Like being consistent with every area of your life, including how you treat other people. Like I'm really big on that, like keeping it consistent. People don't need like highs and lows from you all the time, or that's not healthy. So just always treat people nice and kind and stay on that trajectory. And also what I said about keeping a marriage together. So since I met Corey, from day one, because we got sushi on our first date, he always, I'm talking 100% of the time, gives me the last bite. Whether we're eating sushi, we've got rolled tacos in front of us, we've got cookies, to share, or a pizza, or just anything, a fucking hot dog. No, like he always gives me the last bite. Like if there's one of something left, he's like, that's yours. And I fight him. I'm like, no, I don't want it. He goes, no, it's for you. You deserve it. Like, what the fuck? I do not have that. I am not that generous. Like with food, I'm like, to give up, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something I wouldn't want to do that with. I don't know. It's just really nice of him. And anyways, let's watch this clip. This is from Fox on the letter. Oh, we got a person at the door. Damn it. Got a FedEx person. I don't answer my door for anyone. Security, safety, girl tip. Don't answer your door for anyone. Period. I don't care if it's your mom. No, I'm kidding. Like I don't answer my front door ever. And get yourself a Ring camera and get that app so you can watch what's going on at all times. Especially if you work from home and you're by yourself. Get a couple dogs. Wouldn't recommend a golden retriever to save your life, but I'm trying to think of who would be more aggressive towards someone. Honestly, between Jimmy and Louie is a fighter. Like he's an English bulldog. Like he's aggressive like that, but actually Jimmy's bark is scarier, but I think Louie would fuck shit up more. So let me just read this. So, again, this came out on the 14th of this month. Los Angeles County DA releases Menendez brothers' letter cited as new evidence that sparked the review of the case. The letter was allegedly written by Eric Menendez to a cousin alleging sexual abuse against him by his father, Jose Menendez. So, after that documentary or that show came out, what was the show called? It was that show, the Netflix show of the Menendez. There's the documentary about the Menendez brothers and they did like an actual show. But I remember after that happened, people are like, oh, like people wanted to see them get out, but now there's new evidence. So the timing of this is really interesting. You know what I mean? Like, again, this is all alleged, but, let me play this clip. I'm looking at the letter right now. You can see his handwriting and there's some things crossed out and I can't read it. It's not legible for me, but they highlighted a couple things. And one of the things Eric allegedly wrote in this letter is, it's still happening, but it's worse for me now. The letter states, I know what you said before, but I'm afraid you just don't know Dad like I do. Okay. So let me play this clip here from Fox. It's kind of long. Let's see. This came out on today, the 24th. So
Decades after being convicted of murdering their parents in the Beverly Hills mansion, a movement to have Eric and Lyle Menendez released from prison gaining momentum. And because Fox News at Night is based in Los Angeles, we have got unique legal perspective to take you inside the story. Christina Coleman is here live with a closer look at new interest in an old case. Christina, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Trace. Yes, the Menendez brothers are serving life sentences without parole for the 1989 shotgun slayings of their wealthy parents. Prosecutors argue they were after their parents' multi-million-dollar estate, but their legal team says they acted out in self-defense after suffering years of emotional and physical abuse by their parents, including sexual abuse by their father over many years. And now, LA prosecutors are going to review new evidence, a letter that Eric wrote to his cousin in December of 1988 that could corroborate the abuse claims. He said, quote, "I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in." The LA County District Attorney weighed in and also noted society's change in views on sexual abuse allegations over the years.
We have not decided on the outcome. We are reviewing the information, but I think it's also important that we recognize that both men and women can be the victims of sexual assault.
This week, about 24 members of the Menendez family held a press conference calling for the release of the brothers, including the sister of Kitty Menendez, the boy's mom.
It was a nightmare none of us could have imagined. But as details of Lyle and Eric's abuse came to light, it became clear that their actions, while tragic, were the desperate response of two boys trying to survive the unspeakable cruelty of their father.
The district attorney will make a recommendation. However, the final decision will be up to the judge, and he has a hearing scheduled for November 26th on this case. Trace?
It's a big story. Christina, thank you. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and federal litigator Vic Bajaj. Vic, great to have you on. I want to play some sound from our old friend Mark Garagos, who happens to be the defense attorney for Lyle and Eric Menendez. Watch this.
In over 40 years of doing this, I have never seen the amazing exemplary rehabilitation and mitigation evidence that we have now presented to the DA's office. I've said it once, I've said it twice. If they were the Menendez sisters, they would not be in custody. We have evolved. It's time.
It's his job to say that. He's the defense attorney, Vic. What do you think, having looked at this case? Does he make a compelling argument?
He makes an exceptionally compelling case, and this is why. Sometimes defending somebody in a serious crime, we as defense litigators know all the evidence in the universe of what's in existence. But sometimes the judges say, hey, you know what? We're going to put the blindfolds on the jury, and we're not going to let the jury see everything because I, as the gatekeeper, believe it's not relevant. In the first trial, the sexual and physical victimization of these two brothers was relevant. It was brought out. But then there was some information and recordings that came about after the first mistrial. The second judge says, hey, you know what? I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I don't think it's real. So again, that blindfold goes on. Now, it's not a question of what happened. It's a question of the whys. Yep. So in California, like other states in the union, we have the crimes. We ask why. That laundry list of whys now has at least two more things: sexual, physical abuse, and also males being the victims. So with this evidence, if we are to be consistent, these two convicted young boys that are now grown men should be out, and frankly, they should be out well before Thanksgiving.
I want to read this letter.
Wow.
This letter is from Eric Menendez to his cousin. Put this up on the screen. He says, quoting, "I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy." Evidence that kind of bodes well for them.
That's correct, and it was 8 months prior to the shootings, which means that it was 8 months prior to some of the overt acts in furtherance, the premeditation that the district attorney presented to the jury. This is compelling evidence, and when you take that and you combine it with the other sexual assault and rape victim of the deceased father, it corroborates the evidence.
Okay, so it goes on a little longer. But my question, and I'm not super well versed in how this, like how evidence collection works post, trial and conviction. I mean, it's been years, right? It's been decades. So where did this letter come from? You know what I mean? Like, where was this found? Why wasn't it used in the trial in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, this seems kind of, I'm just pushing back because I'm like, how do they just like pull this out all of a sudden? And how do they prove, I mean, wait a minute. So Kano's mother, Kano is the cousin, Andy Kano, his cousin, Andy Kano. His mother found the letter 9 years ago, and his cousin, Andy Kano, testified that Eric Menendez told him about his father's abuse when he was 13. So he died in 2003. His cousin died. Wow. So his mom found the letter 9 years ago, and then it's now being used as new evidence for the case. I'm just trying to understand. So obviously it was in the hands of, this makes sense. So I was like, how did they find it? Like, where does this come from? But if his mom, so the sister of either the dad or the mom, found this letter in her home or in her son's stuff, who's now passed, I guess that makes sense. It would like pop up, like sorting out your house. Like, I don't know how it probably like turned up somehow, but 9 years ago, and now it's being, she didn't like come forth then. I'm trying to understand. Yeah, that's a little curious to me, but maybe she had her reasons why she didn't, present it, but now with all of the press and the buzz, like, I don't know, maybe she came around and put it out there. Like, I'm just trying to like wrap my head around this, just the timing of it all. Right. Yeah. So I'm sure this will be, so even that lawyer was saying that they could get out before Thanksgiving, which is insane. So, wow, crazy. That's a very compelling, obviously, piece of evidence. But how do they like legitimize it or verify? How do they prove that that's a legit letter? And I mean, do they like swab the fucking ink, and can you like, what do you call it? Like figure out like carbon dating? Like, do they do that on these fucking letters from past times to see how many how old it is and how old the paper is? I'm sure there's shit like that out there now, but yeah, it's a handwritten letter, like allegedly written by Eric 8 months before the killings. So wild story. So moving on for something, we're just going to end with this just as a friendly reminder how the electoral college works. Okay. It's election season. It's in less than 2 weeks. And I feel like it's good to know. It's good to brush up on this. I'm going to read here how the electoral, oh my God, my back hurts. Sorry. Hold on. Let me sit up. Okay. Bad posture. Need to work on it. Okay. How the electoral college works and why 270 votes will decide if Trump or Harris wins the 2024 election. My mom used to be a news reporter, if you didn't know. I'm trying to channel her right now when I read these fucking dry ass political articles. I'm not really interested in politics, by the way. Like, it's not something I seek out and like want to know more about. Like, I know that's probably good to do, but I just don't. When I see it on TV, it's like, it's interesting to know what's going on in the election, but I don't really deep dive. So that's what we're going to do here about the electoral college and like the current state of our election and what votes need to happen in which states for either candidate to win, according to like the polls right now and blah, blah, blah. So when the founding fathers argued about how when the founding fathers argued about how the newly formed United States, would elect a president, they compromised on a unique system that became known as the Electoral College. It requires a candidate to reach 270 out of 538 total electoral votes. I think I knew that. They needed 270, yes. How that math plays out has changed election by election, candidate by candidate. For the 2024 contest, polling shows that most of the 538 votes are already sewn up by Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, but 93 are still up for grabs in 7 battleground states. Okay, and those states are Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Okay. Each state gets as many electors as it has members of Congress, those in the House and Senate. Congress is the House and Senate. Okay, we know this. There are currently 538 electors in all, including 3 for Washington, D.C., which is represented despite not being a state. Voters head to the polls on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. That is November 5th in this year's election. After the results, the individuals chosen as electors meet in the state capitals on the first Tuesday after the second Wednesday of December. Fuck me. After the results, the individuals chosen. Wait, who are the individuals chosen? Each state gets as many electors as it has members of Congress. So if you have, depends. Each state gets as many electors in the Electoral College as it has members of Congress. So every state's obviously going to be different. Okay. All right. I'm trying to follow, but okay. After the results, the individuals chosen as the electors meet in the state capitals on the first Tuesday after the second Wednesday of December. That is December 17th for this year, to cast their votes for president and vice president. Bitch, why don't we just find out the next day? We vote on, so the election night is November 5th, and we're not going to, why does this seem like such a delay? This is December 17th for this year, to cast their votes for president and vice president. They then submit their votes to both houses of Congress. Congress then certifies the results of the election during a joint session, typically held on January 6th, a date that has come to live in infamy after the riot in the Capitol. We know this in 2020. The complex nature of the Electoral College has been controversial since it was established at the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Supporters argue that it requires presidential candidates to have broad appeal across the country to win, while critics claim it is not representative of the popular will of the nation. The Electoral College came about during the Constitutional Convention after a long debate over how to elect a president. Some founding fathers wanted Congress to decide, and some wanted it to be a popular vote. My little pea brain is like, it should just be the popular vote. 52% voted for Kamala, and it's just like, that's what it is. Or 48% voted for Trump, and like, now we got this Electoral College bullshit that's like, it's like another layer that doesn't, in my opinion, it's like, how I don't understand why it's necessary, if that makes sense. I'm like, shouldn't it just be the popular vote? At the time of the convention, no other country in the world directly elected its chief executive, so the delegates were in uncharted waters. But some delegates worried if Congress made the decision, it would offer too many chances for corruption between the executive and legislative branches. However, others worried that 18th century voters lacked the resources to be fully informed about the candidates, especially in rural outposts. okay, so they're just shit voting and they don't really know anything about the candidates. And so they wanted to like mitigate that. And okay. They feared a popular vote could lead to a charismatic megalomaniac winning over a mob of voters and taking the White House. An electoral college was the compromise. The decision also gave more power to slave states and small states. Slave states wanted to increase their voting power since they could count slaves as 3/5 of a person. It's fucking insane. Could count slaves as 3/5 of a person when allocating electors, and small states would be guaranteed a minimum of 3 electors per state. While polls show most voters don't like the Electoral College, there's no easy alternative. I think that it's hard to reach a consensus about what would be a better alternative. Costas Panagopoulos, I'm not even going to try it, Panagopoulos, a professor at Northeastern University who's an expert on the Electoral College, said, each of those alternatives is going to create biases in favor or against certain types of places, he noted. Okay, I'm reading this and I feel like I'm only retaining like a third of it, which is insane. Like I'm reading, but I'm not like processing what I'm reading, if that makes sense. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, right? So I might have to repeat back some things to like, because my whole goal, right? Like I'm doing these educational segments on the show now because I want to know about things in depth. I don't want to just like graze over topics and just, it's getting annoying. Okay. I'm 30 and I feel like the internet is making me retarded. Oh, fucking, I can't say retarded. You can't say stuff. Fuck. Undo, edit, undo. I could probably bleep that. Fuck. We said it. Stupid. The internet is making me stupid. The Electoral College, I remember I used to reprimand kids in elementary school for saying the R word because my uncle is handicapped. And I was always like so offended when I heard it. And I would always tell them off. And I'm like, you can't say that word. And then like the older I've gotten, I'm like, it's a slur. It's a bad word to say, but it's kind of like a great word at the same time for so many situations and things. But I'll be PC today. I did say it. But okay. So let me just finish this here. Damn, this is long. Oh God. We're going to do it. Let me just read about the importance of the Electoral College. The Electoral College gives importance to battleground states that are must-wins for candidates, but switching to a popular vote system, for example, would give heavily populated areas like New York, California, and Texas the advantage. Additionally, it's simply difficult to change the Constitution, which is what is required to establish a new election system. A constitutional amendment requires a two-thirds supermajority in Congress plus ratification by three-fourths of the states. The majority of states have adopted a winner-take-all approach when it comes to awarding their electors. Maine and Nebraska are different as they distribute their electoral votes by the winner of each of their congressional districts. Both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's campaigns have devised paths towards victory, a strategy of which states to win to give them the necessary 270 votes in the Electoral College. There are 225 electoral votes considered solidly or likely Democratic, meaning they'd go to Harris, while 218 are seen as likely to go to Trump. To reach 270, Harris is eyeing the 3 blue wall states, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, that flipped to Trump in 2016 and flipped back to Democrats in 2020. If Harris wins those 3 states, while Trump carries Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, Harris would win with the minimum 270 electoral votes to Trump's 268. As part of that route, Harris would need the one electoral vote from Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, as she had running mate Tim Walz campaigning there this week. The last time the blue wall did not vote in unison was 1988, when Michael Dukakis won Wisconsin while losing Pennsylvania and Michigan. Overall, the Harris campaign is focused on winning the battleground states that Biden won in 2020. The 3 blue wall states, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia, plus North Carolina. The state with the biggest odds of tipping the election is Pennsylvania. I think we all know this. It has 19 electoral votes, more than any other swing states, and has received the most attention from Harris and Trump. I just got PTSD from a flashback from what happened in Pennsylvania with Trump. Can't believe it. It's wild. Still wild. Literally, he got shot in the head and lived. The Trump campaign, like, do you ever just think about that? He got shot at twice now. Yeah. The Trump campaign has focused heavily on the state, which he won. Trump campaign has focused heavily on the state, which he won in 2016, but lost in 2020. So he's focused heavily on Pennsylvania, which he won in 2016, but lost in 2020. A win there, plus a few more battleground states, hands him a victory. For example, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina, that would get him 270 electoral votes. Another path would be for Trump to win Georgia and Arizona, which he lost by a few thousand votes in 2020, and hold on to North Carolina. If he did that, he would only need one of Wisconsin, Michigan. This is like state math right now. Like I'm reading so many names of states, and they're combining them in so many different ways where I'm a visual learner. That's probably what I'm learning today on the show. Like, I'm reading and I need a visual explanation of this. That's why I really like infographics. I think the New York Times does the best ones, but like, this is scribbling my brain. It's like, you need these states and then these on the side, but then you could also do these states and this one on the side. And then, okay. A candidate can win without Pennsylvania, but would need to take most of the other battleground states to make up for losing those 19 votes. It is very possible to win the popular vote, but lose the electoral college vote. This happened in 2016, 2000, and 3 times in the 1800s. Okay, so it happened in 2016 when Trump won. He got the popular vote, but lost the electoral college vote, and he still won. So okay, the popular vote still matters then? Like, that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, the popular vote is still important. It's still a factor. But if you don't get 270 electoral college votes, are you just automatically the loser? Like, even though you got the most popular votes? You know what I mean? Isn't that, like, how do they weigh it? Because if you don't win the electoral college, like, Trump didn't win the electoral college, it's saying, in 2016, but he won the popular, and so he won the election. That could happen again. Kamala could have 270 electorals and not win the popular vote. And then would she be the winner because she got the electoral college and lost the popular vote? So do you have to win the does winning the electoral college seal the deal even if you lose the popular vote? Or is it like, because you can win both and obviously you're the winner. But if you lose the popular vote, okay, if you win the popular vote and lose the electoral college votes, because you won the popular vote, does that mean you're the winner? Can someone please explain this to me through a picture, please? Like, please, someone please draw me a picture. I'm lost. Okay. A tie in the Electoral College, while a low probability is possible. If Trump wins, here we go with the state math again, okay? If Trump wins Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina, while Harris takes Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, but loses Nebraska's second congressional district to Trump, the result would be a 269 to 269 tie. So I guess that's very unlikely, but it could happen. If a tie occurs, the election goes to Congress to decide. Okay. After the 1800 election ended with Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr in a tie, the House needed 36 ballots to eventually elect Jefferson for president. Subsequently, lawmakers adopted the 12th Amendment to streamline the electoral process. Okay. Oh my God, I think we're on the home stretch. Okay. Under it, in the event of a tie, the House of Representatives picks the president and the Senate picks the vice president. They can pick candidates from different parties to serve together in the White House. Complicating matters, when an election goes to Congress, each state in the House of Representatives gets one vote. And there is no required process for the state to pick who they vote for. Each state, which has Democratic and Republican lawmakers, would have to decide for itself how it would cast its one vote. So a tie is like no good. It's just like a mess. It's a mess. And it's unlikely, but it has happened. They are not bound to choose the candidate who won their state in the general election. Also, the territories get no say. Washington, D.C. and all the voters there will have no representation, no say in who gets picked. Once a decision on that is made, each state's delegation in the House gets a single vote, and the candidate who receives a majority, 26 of 50 state votes, is president. In the Senate, each senator gets one vote to pick the president. In 1824, Andrew Jackson achieved a plurality of the vote, but fell short of a majority. But the second place finisher in the Electoral College and popular vote, John Quincy Adams, was able to gain enough support in the House to win the presidency. Okay, so... Okay. Scrolling. Is the article over? I'm reading the comments now. I guess this article's over. Cool. Thanks, Daily Mail. Shout out. I'm a little lost. I think my biggest question, like I get, so you need 270 votes from the Electoral College to win the presidency, right? If it requires a candidate to reach 270 out of 538 total electoral votes. So if you fall short, but you win the popular vote, this is my question. This is what I'm trying to understand. And I'll maybe, you know what? I'll do the research and report back, or do you want to learn it together? Because I'm going off of what happened to Trump in 2016. He won the popular vote, lost the Electoral College, and was elected president. But I'm assuming that if you lose the popular vote, but you win the Electoral College, that overrides the person who won the popular vote. No, because it's like a yin yang thing. Because then you're the winner of this, the loser of that, the other person's the loser of that, and they still win. How does that get determined? Guys. Okay, wait. How? Electoral College. It's too much of a puzzle for me right now to like, but let me just scroll here and see if I can. Okay, they have to get 270. We know this. Should I call Corey? Save the episode right now? He probably knows this. Like, I don't understand. Do you guys understand? Like, does that make sense what I'm saying? That question. I just watched a couple TikToks and read a few articles here, and now I'm even more confused, to be honest, because I just said that Trump won the popular vote in 2016. He actually didn't. Hillary Clinton had 2.8 million more votes in the popular vote than he did, which was like the largest ever, apparently. But he had won the Electoral College. So he won. So that's my inkling now. So this other article said the opposite of that. This article's saying this. And how I'm going to explain it to you back, like I'm going to teach you back what I just learned, is that when you vote in your state, let's think of this in like sports terms. Let's think of the electoral vote and the popular vote in sports terms. So you're on a team. Your state is a team, and you, the voter, are a player on the team. And the elector, and I don't know how they get decided, like who votes them in as the elector. I don't know how those people are. I guess I did read that in the article earlier. The elector is like the team captain. Okay, so when you cast your vote, it's telling the elector what the team wants. The elector is the team captain. And they take that information and they go, okay, this is what my state wants. This is who my state wants as president based on the popular vote of that state. And this is where it gets like weird. They can decide to vote opposite. So it's like your vote counts when it comes to telling. It just tells your elector what your state wants. And the team captain is either like, I'm going to support what my team wants, or they're going to tell the team to fuck off and vote for the opposite candidate. So how do you make sense of all this? I don't really know. So much for democracy, right? Like, it's a shit show. It's layered. And it's not so straightforward. I mean, that's my simple explanation. I'm probably missing a few things, or I could be there, but that's kind of how I see it. Like when you go to the ballots, when you go to the polls, when you go to the fucking voting center, you're just, that box you check is telling your elector in your state who you want as the president. So it's a popular vote for your state. It's just information to the elector, and they can do what they want with that information and vote with you or opposite of you as a state and what your popular vote wanted. I'm burnout. Okay. This is why, I mean, I did learn something. I feel more solid in my understanding of this. Not 100% though. I'm still not 100%, but if I'm in a coffee shop working tomorrow, editing this episode, and someone's like, hey, what the fuck's the Electoral College? I feel a lot better about myself now that I'll be able to hold that conversation for more than 30 seconds. And I can also let them know that there were only 5 presidents that lost the popular vote but won the election in history. Only 5. So now that doesn't make sense. Why does that hurt my brain? So wait, 5 presidents lost the popular vote, but won the election. So I think historically, the presidents that win the popular vote and the Electoral College. That is the majority of presidents and how they were elected, or why they were elected presidents, because they got the popular vote, and which makes sense because the popular vote is information again for the team captain of the state's the elector at the Electoral College to cast the vote of who they want. So it's consistent. That's what it is. So in that case, the popular vote is consistent with what the Electoral College and those electors, who they vote for. But there are situations where the elector, and I'm not sure the details of this and what the statistics are behind it, where the electors do the opposite of what the state wants. If that makes sense. But historically, okay, so there's 5 presidents who lost the popular vote but won the election. That's a fun fact. Go to your local coffee shop and tell someone that tomorrow. Hey, did you know that in history, in U.S. presidential history, only 5 presidents lost the popular vote but won the election? How interesting. How amazing. Okay, this was a doozy of an episode. We talked about, all right, I'll recap here. We talked about Trump's going on Rogan, the election's in less than 2 weeks. I am a soft dramatic. I'm wearing matronly outfits. No, I'm avoiding the matronly looks. I am trying to find a balance between overly covering up my body and adding too many layers and looking hot. And you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is it? I'm like falling apart right now. I'm lifting heavy again. The Seahawks are leading the NFC West, but I'm also low-key like rooting for the 49ers because I like the 49ers. Liam Payne had multiple drugs in his system at the time of his death, and the cause of death was polytrauma and internal and external bleeding. The Menendez brothers have new evidence going in their favor for their case. There's a letter that has just been found, released, whatever, showing that 8 months before they shot their parents' brains out, allegedly Eric wrote a letter to his cousin talking about how he's scared of his dad, basically, and he doesn't know when the abuse is going to happen. And yeah. So that's that. We talked about the Goldfish cracker rebrand, the McDonald's ecoli outbreak, what I ordered at McDonald's, and finally, the wonderfully nuanced and complicated and wild Electoral College. So that's the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. This is it. I think this was 2 hours. I always say that. I always like make note of that. But yeah, I think this was a 2-hour episode. I hope you enjoy these like educational segments. I'm really like trying to hit it hard because it's such a good time. Like sitting by myself and doing this once a week, I feel like is such a healthy use of my time where I'm not only helping myself out and I'm educating myself on things I don't know a lot about, but I'm educating my audience. I'm teaching them things. So I think it's a win-win for both of us. I think it's healthy. And there is a psychologist that I came across. We're going to do a quick little aside here before I end. His name is Alec. Is it A-L-O-K? A-L-O-K. Yes. Dr. Dr. K. Dr. Alec Kanogia. And I came across a clip of him talking about just psychology. He helps a lot of young men out there that are like addicted to gaming and stuff. He just like helps them with themselves and their minds and their lives and all that stuff. And he said something on, I forget, he was probably on like, I think it was the Diary of a CEO. Pretty sure that's the name of the podcast. But he said that because we live in a world where everything is externalized or our brains are constantly are distracted by external things. You know, in my case, I'm nonstop listening to podcasts. When I'm at the gym, I'm nonstop listening to music. At night, I'm reading books. At night, I'm watching TV. I'm doom scrolling. I'm always like looking outside of myself, and my brain is not centered with me most of the time. It's centered away from me, right? So when I heard that on that clip or on that episode, I was thinking about this podcast and how I think the reason why I enjoy podcasting so much and the reason why this has been such a healthy outlet for me is because it's, and when I don't do it for a while, I feel a little insane. I feel like I need to podcast, like I need to do this. It's because it's the one time in my week where I'm fully present with myself and I'm just in my mind. I'm not being, I mean, yes, I'm reading articles. Yes, I'm watching videos. Yes, I'm talking about fucking McNuggets and bullshit, but, and goldfish, Chilean sea bass goldfish. But it's like the most present, this time on my show is the most president, fuck me. This is the most present I am all week. And I feel like it's a really healthy outlet for me, and can't recommend it enough. I'm a big proponent of starting your own podcast. If you need help with that, I am coming out with an ebook to share, and I am where I'm. This is like, what's the arc or whatever. It's like, okay, never mind. But I'm gonna give you a step-by-step, like every single step of how to get your podcast, your first episode out. And I'm putting that in a little tight package. It's going to go on my website, and it's going to give you every detail of like equipment, software, like tools, like all the things you need to know to start your first, or to record and post your first episode. So that's coming out soon. But yeah, it's the one time a week I'm fully present with myself, and I'm just thinking my thoughts, and I'm sharing my thoughts, and it's a release. It's like a really good exercise for your brain in this crazy, unfocused, distracted world we live in now. You know, I'm not a meditator. I don't get up and sit on a poof for 30 minutes every morning when I wake up. You know, I'm always go, 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 go. So, yeah, this works for me. And I think it's really, yeah, again, a really healthy outlet. And it's putting the focus back on me and my mind. And I believe I'm a better person because of it. And I think it's really helped me grow as a person and do better and be better. And the other thing I really like about Dr. K is that he's a big advocate of introspection and listening to your own intuition and asking questions about yourself and why you are the way you are. And that is like the biggest theme on this show. I'm always like curious about my own behavior. I'm always asking myself, like, why do I do this? Why am I this way? Right? Like, I'm always doing that. And it's such a healthy practice. And it's such a freeing thing to do when you're like, you're not ignoring yourself. You're not pretending like your problems don't exist. You're like fully facing them and being like neutral. It's not like you have to should yourself and shame yourself and go, oh, that's bad that I did that. It's like, why did you do that? Where does that come from? And the more you understand yourself and develop that really strong relationship with yourself where you're not ashamed, you're not, embarrassed or whatever, like the more you work on that, the lighter you're going to feel. You're just going to feel better. You're going to know yourself better. You're going to feel a lot more confident, happy. I think the word I like to use is light. I just feel light. Like I don't have a lot of shit weighing me down because I address it with myself. I'm always working on it. And it's not that deep. It's not that intense. It's just a matter of me like noting something that I do, talking about on the show here, or I'll do it privately. And I unpack. I go, okay, what was that? I don't like how I acted there. I don't like what I said, or I don't like how I have this bad habit of wanting to get my nails done at 1 p.m. instead of going back to work and getting groceries. Like, and then I go, okay, what am I going to do? And then you make your adjustment, and then you course correct. And awareness is everything, right? You just have to be aware of it. And that's how that's the first step to to making a change. So that's it. A little spiral at the end there, but I'm really into the psychology stuff lately, and I'm just nerding out to it because I think it's so in line with the show and what I naturally fall back on. Pretty much every episode, there's always like a psychology, mental health, or self improvement, but when it comes to the mind, there's always an element of that comes out on the show. So I'm reading, I'm learning, I'm following Dr. K now. I'm really into what he posts, and I really like his work. So that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please hit that subscribe button and review the show 5 stars while you're there. Follow me on TikTok at Jacqueline Monroe, Instagram at Jacqueline Monroe, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Jacqueline Monroe Show. This is a video and audio podcast, so you can go hang out with me on video over on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. All right, that's it. Hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. I'll do what it takes. I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit. I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.